Have you ever noticed how something as simple as a lemon can bring so much brightness to life? A squeeze over fish, a slice in a glass of water, a little zest in a cake. It feels fresh, healthy, and full of life. For many people over 60, lemon water has even become part of a daily routine, a gentle ritual in the morning that promises energy, better digestion, and maybe even a younger feeling body. But here's the surprising truth. While lemon is indeed a powerhouse of vitamin C and antioxidants, there are some very specific situations where mixing lemon with certain foods can quietly work against you. These combinations aren't just about taste. For seniors, they can impact digestion, bone health, medications, even dental health in ways most people never think about. That's why today we're going to talk about something rarely discussed in mainstream wellness conversations: 5 everyday foods that you should think twice about combining with lemon if you want to protect your health and stay vibrant well into your later years. Before we go further, if you enjoy warm, practical tips that make healthy living over 60 both simple and enjoyable, I'd love to invite you to subscribe to this channel. We're building a friendly community of people who believe that aging can be full of energy, joy, and curiosity, and I'd be so glad to have you with us. Let's start with a story. Margaret, a 67-year-old retired teacher, had always been proud of her active lifestyle. She walked every morning, cooked most of her meals from scratch, and started each day with a mug of warm lemon water, a habit she'd picked up from a magazine years ago. One morning, she decided to make herself a creamy cup of tea alongside her lemon water. An hour later, she felt an uncomfortable heaviness in her stomach. This wasn't the first time she'd noticed it, but she'd never made the connection. When she casually mentioned it to her dietitian, the answer was instant. Mixing lemon with dairy, especially milk or cream, can cause the proteins to curdle before they even reach your stomach acids, leading to bloating and discomfort. For seniors whose digestive systems are naturally a bit more sensitive, this can be even more noticeable. The fix was simple: keep her lemon water, but enjoy the tea without milk or have it at a different time of day. This might seem like a small example, but it illustrates something important. As we age, even small food combinations can have bigger effects on how we feel day to day. Our stomach acid levels often decline slightly, our gut lining can be more delicate, and our nutrient absorption isn't quite as efficient as it was at 25. That means any combination that makes digestion harder or interferes with how vitamins and minerals are absorbed matters more than it used to. Now, let's talk about the second common pairing that's worth reconsidering: lemon with high-salt foods. This one surprises people because a squeeze of lemon over salted fish or in a tangy salad dressing tastes fantastic. The problem isn't the flavor, it's the chemistry inside your body. Excessive salt can already contribute to calcium loss from your bones. Combine that with the acidity of lemon, and you can accelerate the process. For a 25-year-old, the effect might be minimal over decades, but for someone in their 60s, 70s, or beyond, when bone density is already declining, the extra strain can matter. Salt and acid together can create a scenario where your body needs to pull more calcium from your bones to keep your blood chemistry balanced. The result over time can be weaker bones and a higher risk of fractures. That doesn't mean you can never enjoy lemon and salt in the same meal. It just means it's wise to be mindful. If you love salted lemon dishes, balance them with calcium-rich foods at other times of the day, and keep your overall salt intake in check. While salt and lemon are a concern for bones, there's another pairing that plays a trick on your teeth: lemon with sugary drinks or desserts. Lemon is already acidic, and sugar is the main fuel for cavity-causing bacteria. Combine the two, and your teeth are under a double attack. The acid softens enamel, and the sugar feeds bacteria that can penetrate more easily into the softened surface. This can lead to increased sensitivity, staining, and cavities. Seniors often have more exposed root surfaces due to gum recession, which makes them even more vulnerable. One viewer wrote to me saying she loved baking lemon bars for her grandchildren, But after a summer of weekly treats, she noticed her teeth felt more sensitive to cold water. Her dentist confirmed the enamel wear. The simple solution is to enjoy those lemon sugar treats occasionally, and always rinse your mouth with plain water afterward to neutralize some of the acid. The fourth combination might seem counterintuitive because both ingredients are considered healthy: lemon and certain leafy greens, especially spinach. Spinach contains oxalates, natural compounds that can bind to minerals in your digestive tract. When you add the acidity of lemon, you can actually increase the likelihood that calcium and other minerals won't be absorbed effectively. For most people, this isn't a huge problem, but for those prone to kidney stones or struggling with low bone density, it's worth noting. Oxalates can contribute to kidney stone formation, and when combined with acid, the body may excrete even more calcium in urine. That's why for seniors already at risk, swapping spinach for lower oxalate greens like kale or romaine in your lemon vinaigrette can be a smart choice. The last pairing is less about food chemistry and more about medicine. Lemon juice, while healthy, can interfere with the absorption of certain medications, especially those for blood pressure or iron supplementation. Citrus acids can change the way your stomach absorbs the active ingredients, sometimes reducing their effectiveness. One gentleman I spoke with, in his early 70s, had been faithfully drinking a tall glass of lemon water each morning before taking his blood pressure pills. His readings weren't improving as expected, and his doctor couldn't figure out why until they discovered his timing. Simply shifting the lemon water to later in the day, well after his medication, made a noticeable difference within weeks. These 5 combinations aren't meant to scare you away from lemons, far from it. Lemon remains one of the simplest, most affordable and beneficial ingredients in a healthy kitchen, but knowing when not to combine it can help you get all the benefits without the drawbacks. The beauty of aging well isn't about cutting things out entirely. It's about becoming more in tune with how your body works now and making little adjustments that add up to years of stronger health. When it comes to aging well, small habits make all the difference, and one of the most overlooked habits is not just what we eat, but how we pair our foods. Once you start noticing which combinations make you feel light and energized versus heavy or sluggish, you can begin to design your meals in a way that works with your body, not against it. Lemon, as refreshing and beneficial as it is, plays a starring role in this conversation because it so often appears alongside other foods without a second thought. For example, think about how many classic recipes use lemon to brighten a dish: fish fillets with a spritz of lemon juice, pasta tossed with olive oil and lemon, salads dressed with lemon and vinegar. These have become second nature for many home cooks. Yet when you consider the unique needs of the body after 60, some of these old favorites may need just a little tweaking. One important reason for paying attention to lemon pairings is the natural change in stomach acidity as we get older. Many seniors experience a gradual reduction in stomach acid, which can make digesting protein more challenging. While lemon juice is acidic and can aid in certain digestive processes, when it's combined with heavy protein-rich meals, like large servings of red meat, it can sometimes contribute to discomfort in those with sensitive stomachs. This isn't about acidity alone, it's about how acid and protein interact in a stomach that's already producing less of its own digestive acid. A neighbor of mine, Harold, loved making lemon-marinated steaks for Sunday dinner, but he often felt bloated afterward, blaming the meat. When he tried marinating his steaks with herbs and a touch of apple cider vinegar instead, and saved his lemon for a light-side salad, he noticed his digestion felt easier and more comfortable.
Hydration is another area where lemon often takes center stage. A squeeze in a water bottle, a slice in a mug of warm water. For most people, that's a wonderful habit. But here's a subtle detail. Drinking lemon water in large quantities throughout the day can, over time, create a slightly more acidic environment in the mouth, especially if sipped slowly over hours. For those with dentures, partials, or gum recession, this constant exposure to acid can increase irritation or even contribute to sores. I once heard from a viewer named Alice who loved sipping lemon-infused water from morning to night. She was puzzled by a persistent tenderness along her gums. Her dentist suggested alternating with plain water or herbal tea between lemon water sessions, and within weeks the irritation subsided. Sometimes it's not about stopping a good habit, just giving your body a break from constant exposure. We should also consider the hidden sugars that can creep into lemon drinks. Many people mix lemon juice with honey or sweet syrups, thinking they're making a health tonic. While a spoonful of honey has its benefits, for those monitoring blood sugar levels, especially seniors with prediabetes or diabetes, this combination can cause spikes that are easily overlooked. The lemon's tartness can mask how sweet the drink really is. The smarter choice is to enjoy lemon with naturally sweet fruits like berries, which bring fiber and antioxidants that help slow sugar absorption. It's a small change with a big payoff for steady energy and metabolic health. Another fascinating point is how lemon interacts with iron, but this time it's a positive story when done right. For seniors who eat plant-based or lean heavily on vegetarian meals, iron from plant sources is harder for the body to absorb. A small amount of lemon juice in a lentil salad, for instance, can help boost absorption. The key is timing and knowing which type of iron you're working with. If you're taking an iron supplement prescribed by a doctor, you want to avoid combining it with lemon at the exact same time because the concentrated acid can sometimes interfere with absorption. But in whole food meals, a gentle splash of lemon can actually be beneficial. That's why it's important not to think in terms of good or bad, but rather when and how much. Speaking of timing, one thing I've noticed from years of talking with seniors is that many people take their morning medications with a glass of lemon water because it feels refreshing. While it's a pleasant ritual, for certain medications, especially thyroid medications and some antibiotics, it's better to use plain water to avoid even the slight risk of reduced absorption. Then you can still enjoy your lemon water later in the morning, maybe with a light snack, and get all the enjoyment without compromising the effectiveness of your prescription. It's a simple shift that can preserve the benefits of both the lemon and the medicine. And here's something that often surprises people. Lemon can actually enhance the flavor and palatability of lower salt meals. Many seniors are advised to cut back on sodium, which can leave food tasting bland. By using lemon instead of salt for brightness, you can enjoy flavorful meals that are easier on your blood pressure. The trick is knowing when the acidity might become too strong, like when combined with certain pickled or fermented foods that already carry their own acid load. Too much acidity in a single meal can cause heartburn or indigestion, even in people who normally tolerate lemon well. That's why alternating acidic and non-acidic components across your meals can be so helpful for long-term comfort. Enjoying food as we age isn't about restricting every little thing, it's about adjusting with awareness. Lemon can still be a delightful part of nearly any day, as long as it's used in ways that complement your body's needs rather than compete with them. Once you start paying attention to these subtle interactions, you'll be amazed at how much lighter, steadier, and more energized you can feel, and that's the real secret to staying ageless. If you're finding this kind of conversation valuable, and you'd like more real-world health strategies you can actually enjoy, tap that subscribe button now. It's free, and it's one of the easiest choices you can make for your long-term well-being. There's something wonderful about how food can be both nourishment and memory. For many of us, the taste of lemon carries reminders, perhaps of a childhood lemonade stand, a holiday roast dressed with lemon slices, or a garden where citrus trees thrived. These memories are sweet, but as our bodies change with time, our approach to those flavors often needs a little refinement. One area that deserves attention is how lemon interacts with certain digestive conditions that tend to appear more often in the later decades of life. Acid reflux, for example, is a common complaint among older adults. The lower esophageal sphincter, the small ring of muscle that keeps stomach acid where it belongs, can weaken over time, making it easier for acidic foods to trigger that familiar burning sensation. When lemon is combined with other acidic foods, such as tomatoes, pineapple, or vinegar-based dressings, the total acid load can be enough to set off symptoms, even in someone who doesn't normally react to a little citrus. I once met a retired chef named Ben, who loved his tomato and lemon seafood stew.
He prided himself on its bright, tangy flavor. But as he moved into his 70s, the heartburn became too much to bear after just a small bowl. His solution wasn't to give up the dish entirely. He adjusted the recipe, replacing some of the lemon with fresh herbs and a small splash of olive oil for richness. The dish still sang with flavor, but without the discomfort. That's the kind of small, thoughtful adaptation that keeps favorite meals on the table without sacrificing well-being. Another interesting interaction happens when lemon is used alongside fried or heavily oily foods. On the surface, this pairing seems like a good idea. After all, lemon's acidity can cut through greasiness and brighten flavor. But for some older digestive systems, adding acid to a high-fat meal can prompt the stomach to produce more digestive juices, which may slow the emptying process and cause lingering fullness or even mild nausea. For example, a fried fish fillet with a big squeeze of lemon may taste classic, but if you find yourself uncomfortably full hours later, it could be the combination at work. Lightly grilled or baked fish with a gentle lemon drizzle is often easier to manage, and you still get that signature taste without the post-meal heaviness. We should also talk about how lemon fits into hydration routines for active seniors. Many people drink lemon water after exercise, which can be great for replenishing fluids and adding a little flavor. However, if the workout is especially sweaty, your body is also losing electrolytes, particularly sodium. Drinking plain lemon water without replacing sodium may leave some people feeling a bit lightheaded or fatigued afterward. The simple fix is to add a pinch of mineral salt, or pair your lemon water with a small snack that contains healthy sodium, like a few olives or a slice of whole grain toast with nut butter. That way you balance both hydration and mineral needs, which becomes more important as the body's regulation of fluid and electrolytes changes with age. There's a mental health connection here too. The flavor and aroma of lemon can have uplifting effects, thanks to compounds in its essential oils that may influence mood and alertness. For seniors, this can be a gentle way to counter the mid-afternoon slump. But when combined with large doses of caffeine, say in an iced tea loaded with lemon, it can be overstimulating, leading to restlessness or trouble sleeping later. For those sensitive to caffeine, switching to herbal teas with lemon, such as chamomile or rooibos, offers the same bright flavor without the jittery edge. It's a reminder that even the healthiest ingredients can behave differently depending on what they're paired with. And then there's the matter of teeth, not just enamel, but also the health of dental work. Many older adults have crowns, bridges, or partial dentures, and while these are durable, they aren't invincible. Acid from lemon can, over time, weaken the bonding materials that hold dental work in place, especially if the exposure is frequent and prolonged. A dentist I spoke with recommended using a straw for lemon drinks to bypass most of the teeth, or enjoying lemon with meals rather than sipping it alone over hours. These small adjustments can help preserve dental health, which in turn supports nutrition. After all, comfortable chewing is essential for eating the fruits, vegetables, and proteins that keep us strong. The way lemon interacts with other flavors and nutrients is a bit like a dance. When the partners are well matched, the result is beautiful, but when they clash, it's noticeable. Paying attention to these subtleties isn't about fear or restriction, it's about empowerment. Once you understand how your body responds, you can create meals and habits that bring you joy without the hidden side effects. This awareness builds over time, and it's one of the gifts of experience, knowing your body well enough to choose what truly serves it. Lemon has a timeless charm that crosses cultures. In the Mediterranean, it's a staple in salads and roasted meats. In parts of Asia, it's used in soups and marinades. And in the Americas, it finds its way into desserts, sauces, and simple water infusions. This worldwide love for lemon means it often travels into many types of meals without a second thought. But for those of us paying closer attention to health and longevity, especially after 60, it's worth looking at how lemon fits into seasonal eating and how that can influence the way it works in the body. For example, in colder months when the body naturally craves warming foods, too much lemon can sometimes feel out of place. Its cooling nature, according to traditional food wisdom, can make certain individuals feel chilly or drained if they're already running cold. In those times, balancing lemon with warming spices like ginger or cinnamon can create harmony, letting you enjoy its benefits without the energy dip. There's also the matter of variety and acid sources. While lemon is an excellent way to add brightness to a dish, relying on it as the only acidic component can limit your nutrient range. Vinegars made from apple cider, rice, or balsamic bring their own unique properties and can be alternated with lemon to give the body a different set of polyphenols and minerals. For someone aiming to stay healthy into their 80s and 90s, this rotation of ingredients helps keep the microbiome, that bustling community of gut bacteria, rich and diverse. A diverse gut in turn supports better immunity, digestion, and even mental clarity. I remember speaking with Clara, an 81-year-old avid gardener, who told me she used to put lemon on almost every salad she made. One year, she challenged herself to use other tangy flavors half the time, sometimes apple cider vinegar, sometimes pomegranate molasses, and sometimes just crushed fresh herbs with a touch of sea salt. She noticed that not only did her digestion feel steadier, but she also rediscovered a deeper enjoyment in her meals. Lemon was still part of her life, but it became a special note rather than a constant background. We should also touch on how lemon is stored and prepared, because freshness changes its health impact. Lemon juice that's been sitting out for hours or stored for days in the fridge will slowly lose vitamin C. For seniors, every bit of this vitamin matters, not only for immunity, but also for collagen production, which affects skin elasticity, joint health, and even the strength of blood vessels. Squeezing lemon fresh onto food just before eating ensures you're getting the maximum benefit. And when zesting, using the outermost peel avoids the bitter pith, while preserving the fragrant oils that can support mood and digestion. Pairing lemon with herbs is another area of both flavor and function. Many herbs such as parsley, dill, and basil contain compounds that can reduce inflammation and support detoxification. When combined with lemon, the flavor synergy often encourages people to eat more greens and fresh foods, indirectly improving nutrient intake. However, one pairing to watch for is lemon with fresh garlic in raw preparations. While both are healthy, together they can be too intense for sensitive stomachs, especially when eaten on an empty stomach. Lightly cooking garlic before adding lemon can make the combination gentler without sacrificing taste. And then there's the idea of mindful pairing with proteins. Lemon works beautifully with fish and poultry, but if those proteins are heavily processed, for example, smoked, salted, or preserved meats, the acid can sometimes interact with the nitrites used in preservation. This is more of a subtle, long-term consideration than an immediate danger, but for those aiming to reduce processed food intake for longevity, it's another reason to keep lemon's best partnerships with fresh, whole foods. Choosing a piece of freshly grilled salmon with lemon and dill, for example, supports both heart and brain health, whereas lemon on processed meats offers little in the way of true benefit. Even the way lemon is served can influence how we absorb its benefits. Drinking lemon water through a straw, as many dentists suggest, helps protect teeth, but using glass rather than plastic can prevent potential leaching of chemicals into acidic liquids, something especially relevant for those who prepare drinks in advance. These small details may seem minor, but when you stack them together over years and decades, they can be part of the reason you still feel vibrant at 85. What's most important to remember is that lemon is a tool, a delightful, flavorful, health-supporting tool, and like any tool, it works best when used wisely, when paired thoughtfully with other foods, when balanced with your body's needs, and when enjoyed in its freshest, most vibrant form. It becomes more than just a garnish. It becomes part of a rhythm of eating that supports energy, resilience, and a joyful relationship with food at any age.